Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Bustamante, and in this video we're going to talk about 7.3, which is artificial selection. Basically, how humans affect diversity within a population through artificial selection, and then explaining the relationship between changes in the environment and evolutionary changes in the population, convergent evolution. Here we go. So first, what's artificial selection? It's the process by which humans select desirable traits in other species and selectively breed individuals with these desired traits, in essence, to make more of them, right? Where does this happen? Well, it happens a lot in agriculture, so we can get certain varieties of corn. We've gotten lots of varieties of cabbage and lettuce and stuff from a certain wild cabbage. Also in animals, one example, right? Dogs. We breed dogs to get certain traits or that we would like them to have, or even certain breeds and crossbreeds. And depending on how this is done, this can lead to more genetic diversity in a population, or it can lead to less genetic diversity in a population, right? If we are creating more varieties, more variations, right, that would lead to more diversity. But if we're just trying to create one kind over and over and over again, eventually that will lead to less diversity in your population. So humans can select for any trait or any combination of traits and choose to breed those individuals within a population to get the desired outcome more frequently, meaning we can crossbreed things, or we can breed two parents to get a certain offspring to get certain outcomes, right? We can actually kind of control what two things mate and produce an offspring, and we know that they pass on their traits or their genes, so that will include that will change what we see as far as a frequency, how often we see them in a population. And right, that will depend on the diversity of the population. Depending on how the trait is selected and how often it is selected, the diversity of the population can change over time. And humans can do this, right? So something else to know about is convergent evolution. Convergent evolution occurs when similar environmental conditions select for similar traits, but they're in different populations, and it might even be in different species over time. So what do we mean by that? Mean by that is that, like, we could see similar traits in, say, lots of aquatic species. And we would call these traits that are similar, we call them analogous structures. They're not necessarily exactly the same, but they're similar traits, even in things that are totally unrelated to each other. So, right, when we look at all these organisms, right, that swim in the ocean, a dolphin, a whale, a penguin, they all have some things that are kind of in common with them, some traits that help them survive, or adaptations that help them survive in similar environments, even though they're not necessarily related. We can also see this as true when we look at placental mammals and marsupials, right? We look at them and they have lots of similarities between different organisms within these two groups. However, they don't have anything to do related-wise with each other, right? So why do we see similar adaptations? Well, we see these similar adaptations because they kind of have some similar environmental pressures that are put on those organisms. And so similar adaptations, while in different environments, can be beneficial because those environments have similarities between them. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you again soon.